Assalamu alaikum guys, this is your Arabic teacher Sam and a very warm welcome back to another video. In this video I thought that I would touch on something I mentioned before. I mentioned that I studied Arabic in Palestine, and so I thought I'd give you guys 10 kind of key words that you need to remember when you visit Palestine, inshallah. So I stayed in Nablus, so obviously the 10 words that I choose are going to be kind of perhaps a little bit biased towards staying in Nablus. So, any person who is from Palestine who's visited Palestine will probably have their own kind of top 10 list, but this is just mine. So the first one that everybody needs to know when you go to Palestine is the word for Jerusalem is Al-Quds. 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 Which is actually a really intuitive name, because this root, qaf, dal and sin, is where other words like the word sacred comes from, muqaddas. So it's to do with it being a holy city, is where this word al-Quds comes from. The second of my top 10 words is the word kanafa, or the Palestinians often pronounce it iknafe. Iknafe Nablusiyya. Kanafa is this kind of dessert. Google it, inshallah, just kanafa. And it's a dessert, it's like cheese and there's like a sugary sort of layer on top. It can't really be explained. In like a European context, we think of cheese as not being sweet, but it's very, very sweet dessert, and it's very, very nice. The third of my top 10 words is kind of a typically Nablusi word as well, or it's kind of two words put together, is qata' zaytun. Qata' zaytun. So there's a time of year, I remember when I arrived in September, and it was quite early after that, maybe sort of November, December time, I think there's an event called Qata' zaytun, and essentially what happens is Nablus is situated between kind of two mountains, and when olives grow on the mountains, there's a time called Qata' zaytun when the people go and pick all the olives. The fourth of my keywords for going to Palestine is the word sabun. Sabun means soap. In Palestine, and particularly in Nablus where I was staying, there's a factory where they make soap, and they use some of the olive oil that they actually take from the qata' zaytun, previous word, and they use the olive oil in making the soap, so it's really, really good for your skin. And also in Nablus as well, there's like an Ottoman bath as well, and you can go there, and when you're washing and stuff, you use the soap that they make pretty much next door. The fifth of my top 10 words is one which is really useful in any kind of Levantine dialect, I hear it in Lebanese and Syrian films and stuff too, and is the word mnih. Mnih. In Palestine I hear them say a little I before it, the Palestinian dialect really likes this I, a little kasra I sound at the beginning, so it says imnih, and it's literally just a word for saying good. If somebody asks you how you are, you can say imnih alhamdulillah. Imnih. The sixth of my top 10 words is another word that means something similar to imnih, which actually, funnily enough, the word imnih comes from the word milih, meaning salt. It's like saying that it's salty, which means that it's good. Which this next one, my sixth word, is the word hilu, which actually means sweet, but it means good. A culture, a culture really like their food when the words for good are salty and sweet. My seventh of my top 10 words is a very typically kind of Levantine word as well. It is used in Syria, Lebanon and Jordan as well. And it's the word, instead of saying rajulun, for meaning a man, you say zeleme. When I first arrived in Palestine, I did wonder whether the word zeleme comes from the word zemil, meaning a colleague or something. But it actually comes from a word that's actually in the Quran too, meaning sanam, meaning an idol, zeleme. And that's commonly what's used for saying a man. So someone might say something like ya zeleme, come on man, ya zeleme. The eighth in my top 10 words isn't really a word in and of itself, it's kind of a phrase, but being in Nablus, and it's also a phrase that I've used in England when speaking Arabic too, is it's a little phrase meaning all of the seasons in one day. Kullu fasul fi yawm wahid. Kulli fasul fi yawm wahid. Kulli fasul, all of the seasons, fi yawm wahid, in one day. There were times in Palestine when I was living in Nablus when literally you would have bright sunny in the morning, by the time for dhuhr it's raining, by the time for asr it's just windy, and then by the evening at maghrib time it's just cloudy. You can have all of the seasons in one day. In fact, even when I was staying in Palestine in 2000, it would have been the Christmas holiday of 2013, we actually had a meter of snow in Nablus. A lot of people who are beginners, Arabic students, don't realise the diversity of weathers that you have in Arab countries. It's not all just one big old desert. We had a meter of snow in Palestine when I was there. The last two words, unfortunately, are somewhat political, but whenever you visit Palestine, you can't really escape it. So there are two last of my top 10 words that you need to remember when you go out there, just so you can be aware of it when you overhear conversations and things like that. And the first one is ihtilal. Ihtilal, which just means an occupation. Ihtilal, because that's something very real and is in most conversations and media in Palestine. So ihtilal is a really important one to remember. The last of my top 10 is somewhat political too, is the word mustawtan or mustawtanat. Mustawtanat is the plural, meaning a lot of settlements. Mustawtan is a settlement. Mustawtanat means lots of settlements. If you've enjoyed this video and I really hope you benefited it, then don't forget to like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.